You know, the US government is kind of drowning in data chaos. And the cost? We're talking billions in waste and just inefficiency. So the big question is, what if one person could actually fix it? Today, we're going to dig into whether a new chief information officer can finally tame this beast.
All right, so to really get the scale of this problem, you just got to follow the money. I mean, the federal government spends over $70 billion on tech every single year. That's a staggering amount. And now a new team is coming in with a pretty powerful mandate. Basically, rethink the whole thing.
So, who's the new sheriff in town, right? Who's the person tasked with cleaning up this massive data mess? Let's get into it and meet the central figure in this whole story. Okay, so that person is Gregory Barbacha. He's the newly appointed federal CIO. And let me tell you, this role, it puts him smack dab in the middle of the government's entire technology machine.
Now, what's really interesting here is Barbachia's background. See, he's not your typical career bureaucrat. Not at all. He's an Army vet who spent a full decade at Palantir, the company famous for wrangling just these massive data sets. Then you add in his experience as a chief information security officer and his time in the Web3 data world, and yeah, it's pretty clear this guy lives and breathes data.
And his mission? Oh, it's crystal clear. He's been picked to lead this brand new Department of Government Efficiency, and his marching orders are simple: cut federal spending. And what's his number one weapon in that fight going to be? You guessed it, making sense of all that government data.
Okay, so what exactly is the problem we're talking about? I mean, to really get why the proposed solution is such a big deal, we first have to wrap our heads around the sheer scale of the data chaos Barbacio's walking right into.
So what does this data chaos actually look like on the inside? Because we're not just talking about a few messy spreadsheets here. Oh no, this is a deep, systemic, really ingrained problem.
Well, the heart of it is basically this. You've got thousands of businesses that have to report information to something like 60 separate federal agencies. And each one of those agencies has its own rules, its own formats, its own systems. It's just a completely siloed, fragmented mess.
Yeah, this tangled web really shows the burden perfectly. Just, imagine you're running a company for a second. You have to send the exact same financial data to the SEC, the IRS, and the Department of Labor. But you can't just send one file and be done with it. No, you have to reformat it, probably redefine some terms, and then resubmit it for each and every agency. It's just a massive waste of time and money.
And here's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Let's take a super simple term, like assets. You'd think that means one thing, right? Well, wrong. Even within just one agency, the SEC, the word assets is defined differently for crowdfunding companies, for public corporations, and for investment firms. So what does that mean? It means you literally can't compare them side by side. The data is just fundamentally incompatible.
And the cost of all this chaos? It's just staggering. I mean, look at Australia. They tackled a really similar problem, and now they save about $1.1 billion a year. So when you scale that up to the size of the US economy, we are looking at a potential savings of $11 billion every single year. That's what's on the line here.
So how in the world do you fix a multi-billion-dollar mess like this? Well, the solution really starts with bringing some order to the chaos. And you do that with a single, unified standard.
A data standard, it's really just a common language. That's all it is. Think about the UPC barcode on pretty much everything you buy, or the Wi-Fi signal your phone picks up. Those are universal standards. They just work everywhere for everyone, and they make things unbelievably efficient. The whole goal here is to create the financial data version of that barcode.
And the good news is, for financial data, a standard like this already exists. It's called XBRL. That stands for Extensible Business Reporting Language. It's an open, global standard that was designed for this exact purpose. And we're not just talking about a fancy spreadsheet here. This is about giving every single piece of data a clear, consistent definition that a computer can read and understand perfectly.
And this really gets at the crucial difference between just a simple format and a true standard. A basic format like XML can put a tag on a number and call it assets. Okay, great. But XBRL gives you the full context. It defines exactly what assets means, the time period it covers, the currency it's in, and which company it belongs to. That's the stuff that makes data truly useful.
So the big vision is this. Instead of that chaotic, tangled web of reporting we saw earlier, companies report their data just once, to a single place using one common standard, what's called a core taxonomy.
And from there, any agency that needs that data can just pull it, and they can be confident that it's standardized, it's accurate, and it's comparable. It's a report once, use many times kind of philosophy.
But you know what? Fixing data reporting is really just the beginning. Once you have a reliable, standardized flow of data, you've basically built a foundation for much, much more ambitious ideas. This whole data-first mindset, it opens the door to some pretty futuristic concepts for making government more efficient. And that brings us to things like digital twins.
A digital twin is, well, it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's a perfect digital copy of a real-world thing, like a bridge or a power grid. But, and this is the key part, it's not just some static 3D model. It's a living simulation, constantly being fed real-time data from sensors on the actual physical object.
You see, historically, we've treated this kind of tech as an afterthought. It's an add-on that you might bolt onto a building after it's already finished. The new approach, the much more efficient approach, is to make the digital twin an essential part of the design from day one. You're designing the physical building and its digital counterpart together, right from the start.
And this workflow here shows exactly how that's done. The digital twin's design, we're talking all its sensors, all its data needs, it's baked right into the project's digital blueprint from the very beginning. And what that lets you do is run simulations, test for stress, optimize maintenance schedules, all before a single shovel ever even hits the ground. It's a game changer.
Okay, so let's tie this all together. What is this huge push for data standards and these advanced ideas like digital twins? What does it all really mean?
Well, the promise here is nothing short of an efficiency revolution. We're talking billions in potential savings, a dramatically lower burden on businesses, and of course, better, more timely information for the people making the big decisions. And maybe most importantly, it lays that standardized data foundation that makes all those future innovations, like digital twins, even possible.
Which, of course, leaves us with the big final question. The technology is there, the mandate for change is clear, and you've got a new CIO with a deep background in data at the helm. So, is this going to be the moment that a data-driven approach finally transforms government, or is the sheer inertia of the old bureaucratic system just going to be too strong to overcome? That's the billion-dollar question.